Hey guys, today we're gonna be talking all you need to know about white mages and fairies. In this episode of Forgotten Tales 101, we are gonna talk everything you need to know about mages. So, before we begin, I just want to say that white mages and fairies, I'm just gonna be calling them mages, just because they're pretty much the same thing. But they have different names and just different skins. Other than that, they're the whole same thing. So yeah, now you can see your basic skills are gonna be 1 damage, 1 armor, 2 dexterity and 2 mana with X HP of 70. That's gonna be your beginning thing. Your skills, now the things below your avatar, as you can see, the pickaxe, the axe, fishing rod, the hammer, the helmet, and the catapulting. They are representative of these classes' speed of doing certain thing. For example, one is basically the middle ground for everything. Like if a certain class have one, that means it's gonna be about the average speed. Now if there's 75, 0.75, that means they're gonna be doing this thing slower. They're gonna be doing it slower. And if they're above 1, that means they're gonna be doing it faster. So mages can fish faster than some other characters. So that's gonna be pretty much it. You can check it out, and they're pretty fast builders as well. Now, something to note about the mages, they're the only characters in the game that can use mana. Even if a melee character or archer type one acquire an armor piece with mana, even if they put it on, they're not gonna get any of the mana effects. They're gonna get the rest of the effects, but not the mana. They're gonna get no mana. So mages are the only ones who can use mana. Okay, let's move on. Apart from some differences, your character is going to be looking pretty much about this way. And now you can notice that my left hand and my leggings are missing. That's because in the left hand, melee characters use shields. Mages cannot use any shields. Um, Another thing to note that their wands are two-handed, so even if they were able to use shields, they wouldn't be able because of the wands. They're gonna be preventing them. And the leggings, unless they provide mana, they are not gonna be able to be equipped. So these two slots are gonna be always empty. Everything else pretty much can be filled with things. Now there's 6 distinguished types of spells that you can be using in your adventures as a wizard. The first one in basic is Yellow Flow spell. Yellow Flow spell, it's your pretty much the basic one. You are getting it right off the get-go. When you start the game, you are going to have this one. It's level 0 and you need 4 mana to use it. Now, something to note is that the damage it deals, it's for a single enemy in your area. So if you have, for example, 2 enemies, it can attack just one of them. The way that the damage work. Now, for example, for the mana thing, this is your mana. You can see the blue circle thingy with the star in the middle. I'm gonna be referring to it as 100, just to give an example. Your mana can be higher or lower, but I'm gonna use 100 to simplify and to make better examples. So the damage you're gonna be dealing with 100 mana is 30 plus 1.5 100, which means 30 plus 150, which means you're gonna be dealing a total of 180 damage to a single enemy. Now let's get to the second spell. The second spell is Healing Spell. You are gonna be able to buy it from the Mage temple. And the way it works is pretty much you need to be at least level 5 to be able to use it. You're gonna have to deploy at least 5 mana per time. And what it does, it heals not only your character, but if there are character around you, it's gonna heal them as well. Now how it works, 50 plus 2.5 times your mana, which is 50 plus 250, because of the example I gave earlier. That's gonna be 300 healing points if you have 100 mana. Now, and certain thing to know that after you reach level 50 as a mage, you're gonna get experience for healing. One experience for each HP recovered, and that's for if you heal yourself. But if you heal another character, you're gonna be getting 2 XP for each HP, which for our math is gonna be, if you heal yourself once, you're gonna get 300 XP, and if you heal someone else, you're gonna get 600 XP. Now, let's move to the next one, a green flow spell. Now, to be able to use that, you're gonna need to be at least level 10, and it's gonna be requiring at least 5 mana. As you can see, 5 is your point. Now, something to note about it, it has the same value as the healing spell, but it turns it into attack, so 300 is gonna be its attack for 100 mana. And something to note is that it does damage to all the enemies around you, but it's divided it equally. For example, if there are 5 enemies, you're gonna be dealing 60 damage to each one of them. So that's gonna be it about these 2 spells. Another thing is that they are gonna be your main 3 spells that you're gonna probably be using them the most. The second are more technical ones that they can be still used, but they're a bit more not so mundane to use. So let's get right to the first one, which is slow spell. From the name, as it suggests, it's gonna slow all enemies. Now, the way it slows them is gonna slow all your enemies around you. So it's not gonna slow one, but all of them. And it requires 9 mana, and you need to be at least level 20 to use. And I noticed you need to use it a couple of times to reach the max slowness of your enemies. And the slowness effect is pretty much making them move slower, and their attacks are gonna be a lot slower as well. So that's gonna be pretty useful for stronger opponents or strong enemies. Now, the fifth spell is Armor Spell. It's level 30 and requires 7 mana. You are gonna be needing 2. The way it works, you are gonna get 2 plus 0.1 times your mana, and it's gonna turn that into armor. So for our example, this is gonna be 12. It's gonna add it to you and all players around you. So that's a splash based attack as well. It's gonna give you armor, and you can use it multiple times. Now, the next one is a Summon Scroll. It's a level 200 one, requires 1 mana. And a thing to note about this one, it's still in development of making of this list. So yeah, it might not be yet in the game, so I'm not gonna talk about it. Now let's talk about what can mages acquire. So as you can see, they can have 6 types of spells, technically 5, but they're gonna be 6. What they can have holding wands. Each one is a 2-handed one, and there are a total of 23 wands that can be acquired by a mage. Their hats are quite unique as well. They're total of 11 hats, and while there are technically two types of hats, one for characters that can use magic and others that cannot. There are more hats, but those one are the ones which you can use as a mage. Now you can obviously stop the video and just look them through, so I'm not gonna go over each one of them. You can check that out yourself and you can see how to get them. So I'm not gonna be bothering too much because the video is gonna be too long. Let's see ropes. Now there are a total of 15 ropes, like so. And there's just one pair of leggings. Now I know I said earlier that you cannot put pants, but those pants are unique. They can be put by mages, but um yeah, you're gonna need level 2000 for that. So about 99% of the people are not gonna be needing this information. But yeah, there's one pair of pants. Now shoes, they can pretty much use every type of shoes. But for example, the ones you are set only not rangers, you cannot use those. Basically, rangers are archer and mages because their attacks are range. So technically, there are 15 types of boots, but there are some that you cannot use. So if the thing says only not ranger and you are either archer or mage, just you cannot use those ones. That's gonna be it for boots. What about gloves? Well, gloves you can use kind of the same as the ones with melee characters and archers, but there are some restrictions as well. For example, you can see steel gauntlets. They are only not range, so that means if you're a mage, you cannot use them. So yeah, there are 19 types of these ones. Let's go to rings and bracelets. There's 19 types of rings and bracelets as well. So as I said, you can stop at any time, just watch them from the video, so I'm not gonna be too much bothering to describe them. And pretty much last thing on our list is gonna be amulets. There are 15 types of amulets that can be used, and that's gonna be it for what you can put on. So if you're a mage, you can put a total of 124 different pieces of equipment, but that's excluding any +1 or +2 item. So the count can go higher, but that's gonna be for the basics. Now let's talk about the mana usage and how it works. Now I'm gonna be starting with the potions. You can regenerate mana either normally by letting the game regenerate it for you, or you can use potions. Now there are 5 types of potions that you can technically get for the game. First one being for 2 mana, it costs 200, and you can see where you can get it. The next one is +4 mana, the next one is +10, +20, and those 4 you can buy them for gold, and they're quite accessible. Now the last one is gonna heal you 200 mana, but currently the only way to acquire this one is by chest, and the only chest that you can get it from is 142. So this is more like a trophy item than something that you can use. And now let's talk about some things that you should really know. First, you're gonna have to know about that spell damage is reduced while you are in a PvP. So you should know that. You should not pick any fights if you're a mage, in my opinion, but it's up to you. Now, the way that mana is calculated is without gear. So the game calculate that part of the game of pretty much the damage that you're gonna be dealing with without your gear. So even if you have like your mana is showing 350 or something like that, but you are like level 100, and we presume that you put H point in mana, you're gonna be getting about technically 200 mana. So yeah, you should keep that in mind as well. Now there is a max of spells. You can cast a total of 7 spells per second. And that's in the game just because of people that might abuse auto clickers. That's why there's a max of 7, and I think it's okay, I guess. Now I would say probably make it a max of 10, just because there are people who can click obviously faster, and I think 7 is okay either way. It's still decent. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how fast does your mana regenerate. To figure that out, you are gonna be using this formula: 1 plus 0.025 time mana. Now, this mana is not the mana that you are gonna be dealing the damage with. This mana is your max mana, which means the mana that you get from the gear counts here. So let's say you get 100 mana with gears and everything. That means 0.025 times 100, which means 1 plus 2.5, which means you're gonna regenerate 3.5 mana per time. Now, how long is the time? Well, it's 5 seconds. So if you have 100 mana, you are gonna be dealing a max of 300 damage. If you use green spell, and you are gonna be getting 3.5 mana per 5 seconds. Now, what I would suggest, if you want to be a mage, make sure you have potions on you if you're early on in the game. Like if you're under level 100 or 200 or whatever, you just get 2 pets with you that can carry mana potions, and you just buy 50 potions plus 20, and yeah, you're gonna be effectively holding you're gonna effectively holding like how much mana is that? I cannot even comprehend how much mana is that, guys. Pretty much 1,000 mana. You can be holding 1,000 mana that way. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope that clears everything up. Something to note is that this information might be a bit older, so you take this with a grain of salt. But overall, that's gonna be your way to go video, I would suggest. And if I miss anything, just let me know down in the comments, or if you have a question, ask me. And yeah, if you liked the video and you want to see more, make sure you like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I really would appreciate that. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.